With the whole Sunni Shia thing, it's interesting because I feel like as I've researched it and as I've looked into it, obviously I'm still like, I consider myself Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah, whatever. But for me, the issue is, okay, if you look at the development of, because it's all to do with history, these are historical discrepancies, yeah? If you look at the development of the Shia school of thought, they have a completely different set of hadith books, they have a completely different set of history books, they have a completely different narrative of what happened at the time. As alongside the Sunni accounts, so there's the Sunni accounts forming in this corner and the Shia accounts forming in this corner. It's all kind of crossing over up until the period of Imam Jafar as-Sadiq, Imam Abu Hanifa, Imam Malik, and then things start to splinter more solidly into this is the Sunni sect, this is the Shia sect, right? You can never prove to a Sunni the truth of Shiaism if you believe that's true, because they don't accept your sources. And then the Sunnis can never really prove to Shias the truth of Sunni Islam because they don't accept your sources. A Shia will never accept a hadith that's been narrated from Abu Huraira or Omar. And half of the deen... Or Aisha, and half of the deen of the Sunnis are coming through those channels. Do you know what I mean? They're coming through Abu Huraira hadith, through Aisha hadith. So you will never unite. The same way, Sunni sources, whenever you bring something from a Shia source to say, oh, it's a Shia source, it's fabricated. Do you know what I mean? So it's like there will never be unity on that thing. The only thing you can unite on is the fact that you both believe in the Quran, you both believe that Ahlul Bayt were good people, and then that's it. So I remember like one of our teachers in West Africa, there was a tour where a big Shia leader called Musa Sadr, this was in the 70s, he came to Senegal and he was doing a tour, and then the Sheikh invited him to his village. So when he came to the village, he prayed in the masjid, whatever. Everyone was attacking him and saying, how can you let a Shia come into your mosque and da-da-da-da-da. And if you research Musa Sadr, he was known for his interfaith work. So like he used to give talks in churches, he used to reach out to the Jewish community because he wanted to focus more on unity rather than diversity. Do you know what I mean? Not diversity, unity than disunity.
Ahead of his time.
Ahead of his time. So he came because there's a large Lebanese population in Senegal. So he came to Senegal, then he came to visit the Sheikh, who's a Sunni Sheikh. He was the vice president of Muslim World League at the time, Sheikh Ibrahim Niass. People were attacking Sheikh Ibrahim Niass that how could you accept the Shia in your house and in your mosque and and whatever. He said, do you know what? I didn't even look at him as a Shia before I looked at the fact that, number one, he's a Muslim that says La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. Number two, he's a scholar who's memorized the Quran and people hold him in esteem as a scholar. His community hold him in esteem as a scholar, and you have to give people their rights. Like if people respect somebody, you have to respect that person. And then number three, he's a descendant of the Prophet ﷺ. He traces his lineage back to the Prophet ﷺ's family. So when I combine those three aspects, I'm not going to disrespect this person just because I have difference of opinion with them. And he's somebody that even if you look at him in his role in the world, he's a West African Maliki Sufi Sheikh. But yet in the 60s, 1964, he's the vice president of the Muslim World League, which is a Saudi Salafi organization, essentially. And then he's also a member of the League of Scholars of Al-Azhar. Then he's also on the Council of the Ulama of Algeria. So it's like, bruh, he's not looking at what separates us and I'm going to attack you because you have difference of opinion, because how can your West African Maliki Sufi Sheikh, and remember when we went to his nephew's house and he was telling us, I remember the day when he was sitting down drinking tea with Albani. Do you know what I mean? Who's one of the biggest, one of the biggest scholars of the Salafi movement. So it's like, that is where we need to be. Because clearly our shuyukh were civil enough with each other to sit down with each other, even if they had difference of opinion. How can Albani come to Sheikh Ibrahim? If you tell Salafis and Sufis today in Nigeria or Ghana that, Albani and Sheikh Ibrahim were having tea with each other in a hotel room, they wouldn't believe it because they're out here killing each other and fighting each other over difference of opinion. So it's like, we need to move away from, okay, this person doesn't agree with how I interpret things. Even if you believe that you're 100% right, there's still that level of human decency that you have to give to people. And how can you say, as a Muslim, for example, a Muslim man can marry a Jew or a Christian. They're not even Muslim. So then people who are also claiming to be Muslim, you have more hatred towards them than you would to Christians or Jews. And Christians believe Jesus is the Son of God still. They believe in Trinity still, and you still have to treat them with respect. It doesn't make sense for you now to come and disrespect a Muslim because they don't agree with your scholars. That don't make no sense.
Really? On a core level, man?